Hey everybody, this is PandaReaper here. Today's video is going to feature a different topic. Feeding. I sort of have an issue with how much this term is thrown around in League games because a lot of the time people aren't actually feeding. By definition, the reportable offense intentional feeding is when someone intentionally is giving up free kills without putting up any sort of a fight, without trying to, you know, make an attempt against the other enemy champion. This person is literally just giving up kill after kill after kill after kill intentionally so that the other team can prosper from it. So I'm going to go over some scenarios with you, and we're going to talk about feeding and, the differences between what actual feeding is and what sort of accidental and, oh, I'm just having a bad game feeding is. So here we go right here. Excuse my artwork. I can't draw. It sucks. But this is just, so people have pictures. Pictures are fun. So this right here is scenario 1. Teemo runs down mid lane, taking tower and champion damage, giving free kills. This is actual feeding. This is intentional feeding. Teemo's being a jerk and purposefully trying to lose because he's a toxic douche. This is feeding. This right here is the worst kind of person you ever want to have to deal with. Scenario 2. We have Malzahar is mid laning against Lux, and Malz is doing everything he can do to win, but just keeps getting ganked often and dies. And on top of that, Lux is just sort of a better player than him. So Kha'Zix is constantly ganking Malz, and this is sort of like an unintentional feeding, like he doesn't really mean to do it, but it just sort of happens because he's getting outplayed. Alright, in this scenario, you don't want to be a jerk. Don't call him garbage. Don't tell him he's a feeder. Don't tell him he sucks. Things like that aren't going to make his gameplay any better. And, you shouldn't say, oh, reported GG, because this person here in scenario 2, poor Malzahar here, he's trying. He's trying really hard to not feed. He's having a bad game. He's getting screwed over by freaking Kha'Zix over here, and Lux with her stupid, 50s hairdo and her laser light rod that just kills everything. It's just not good. And this is, scenario number 3. This is the, I only gave up a couple of kills scenario, but I'm going to play passive and farm. So we got Yi here, who's going against Rengar. And Yi is trading with Rengar, and every time he goes in for a kill, Rengar wins with like less than 100 HP, and Yi gives up about 4 kills. But then Yi decides, hey, I'm not doing so well, so let me play a little more passively. Those last 2 scenarios where the player, it's like he's not feeding on purpose. He's not just running down mid lane trying to give kills and force you to lose the game. Those are the kinds of people who you don't want to call trash, you don't want to call them garbage, and you don't want to be a jerk to them. Because, let me tell you right now, 9 times out of 10, if you sit there and tell somebody who is having a bad game that they're trash, they're garbage, they're a feeder, that they suck, they're going to turn around and be like, oh, you want to see feeding? I'll show you feeding. And then they'll actually start feeding. They'll be that Teemo in scenario 1 who's sitting there just running down mid lane and giving up free kills for no reason. And you don't want that. So if you have scenarios 2 or 3 where you have a player on your team who's just not, he's like right there doing all right, but like just barely losing, or a lane that's just getting camped so freaking hard that this dude is just getting killed left, right, and sideways. Understand that this player is not trying to force you guys to lose. He is not intentionally feeding. He's having a bad game. He's getting camped. Or the other person in his lane is just simply a better League player than they are. You don't want to sit there and bring your teammates down because they're having a bad game. Now, if you have one of those Teemos that's sitting there just running down lane like, oh, troll on the feed, screw everybody, report the hell out of that guy, because nobody should have to deal with him. And if you have to deal with him, I'm sorry, because I hate people like that. That just ruins the game for everybody, because the other team's gonna take advantage of that. I mean, hell, it's free kills. Who wouldn't, right? And it almost guarantees a loss for you guys. So people who intentionally feed by giving up free kills to the enemy team, yes, those are people who are feeders and should be reported and permabanned. But you're on the other flip side to that, the people who are getting ganked heavily, who are being outplayed, who are just maybe having a bad game, they're not playing as well as they are, those are the people that you want to say, hey, I know you're having a bad game, but let's try to play passive. Let's switch lanes. What can we do to help you play better so that when we progressively move to late game, you can kick some butt and do a heck of a lot better. You don't want to sit there and drag those people all the way down into the seat of negativity that they become that Teemo running down mid lane, giving Fizz kills for no reason. You don't want that. You want to try and bring players who are having a bad game and uplift them so that when you guys progress to late game, you can win, because they can go farm, or they can maybe hang out in the jungle and take neutral monsters, so do something other than providing kills. Maybe they can split push, since they don't have enough damage to really help out in team fights, you know? Give them a task or give them something else to do and say, hey, you're not doing too well in team fights, you're not doing too well at assassinations or trying to pick out players, go push, go farm. Don't be a jerk, right? So let's try to tighten up how we use the term feeding, because a vast majority of the time people are not feeding. They're not intentionally giving up kills to make you lose. 9 times out of 10, it's like someone's having a bad game and they need a break. Maybe just be nice. Say, hey, it's okay. We'll win. We'll figure it out. We'll do something. But don't be a dick. Alright? So everybody, this has been PandaReaper sort of having a little rant about the term feeding being used rampantly in League, and that's about it. I just wanted to rant about that. I guess this is probably just my League of Legends rant about feeding and the misconception of feeding, and how people say, oh, you freaking getting ganked left, right, and side, you're a freaking feeder noob, feeder noob. Negativity is aggravating. So let's try to be more positive in the League community, and please go ahead and like the video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It'd be really much appreciated. If you have any feedback, go ahead and comment below. I would be super happy to respond to any and all comments that I get. So just, let's open a discussion. Let's try and improve the League community together, because it really just starts with like one person. If one person is positive and says, hey, let's all be positive, let's like shift this community from negative to positive, because that's everybody. It'll improve everybody's game for play and make everybody have more fun, and that's what everybody plays for, is fun. So join me in making this community better. This has been PandaReaper, guys. I'm out. I'll see you guys next time.